Check 1, 2. All right. Sphere 3D, ticker symbol ANY or ANY, is a micro-cap Bitcoin miner. I've got a few comments about it recently asking to go over it, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, first, you might notice that my audio is a little bit different today. I forgot my microphone, so I am working off of my laptop mic today. I apologize for the degradation of my audio quality today. I'll try not to forget it in the future. First order of business, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps the channel more than you can imagine. So let's take a look at Sphere 3D. Now, first of all, let's go on to Google here. All right, they have a $25.27 million market cap, making them a micro cap. They're very, very, very small. They are up 4% today, trading at $1.44. What are they year to date? Year to date, they're down 60%. They started the year at 334 and they're down 60%. Now I'm going to show you a chart that's going to make you think badly of this. So first of all, this is the Yahoo Finance chart for the stock chart, showing the same thing, right? Down minus 52% on their chart. A little different from Google's, but that's not the point. Now let's turn on Mara. All right, Mara's down 6%, significantly better than what ANY has been doing. Let's turn on CleanSpark. CleanSpark significantly better than both Mara and ANY at 102% up year to date versus being negative 5, 6, or 52%. Let's turn on BitDigital. Let's turn on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 52.81% year to date compared to the others. Let's look at MicroStrategy. This is going to blow us all out of the water. 165% up. So if you place your money on January 1st this year in either CleanSpark or MicroStrategy, you doubled your money and then some. And if you put it in Bitcoin, you're up, half what you put in. And if you got into Mara on January 1st or ANY, you are down. And if you got into ANY, you are significantly further down than on Mara or any of the others. And I think that's probably the only thing I need to show anyone to have them say, well, that's probably going to mark it off for me. This is not financial advice, nor a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Simply bringing forth data and information, hopefully in an entertaining enough manner for you to watch, that I was showing up in the comments stream for a little while there, so I thought I'd shed a light on this ticker specifically. So let's take a look here real quick at, this is their January, let's not do their January, that's their most recent one. This is their fiscal year 2023 results and updates. So the highlights were that they increased their revenue by $15 million to $21.9 million in 2023 compared to 2022. That's great. They're seeing growth. Okay. They mined 667 Bitcoin, which is about how much some of the larger miners mine in a month. The company ended the year with 1.3 exahash, which is very, very small. It's about half what BitDigital has, and BitDigital is very small, but they also have other methods of collecting revenue, whereas ANY sold off their other services, and that was because they were actually losing money on the Hive and Unified connections. They sold off their product segment of their company, which was actually losing the money, and which is why they decided to sell it off. So I think they're purely Bitcoin now at this point in time. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there. I didn't dig that deep into what exactly they were doing in addition to Bitcoin. They're currently holding 23.8 Bitcoin, which is not a lot, but not tiny amount of Bitcoin. It's something. They at least have a whole coin. Let's see what else they got going on here. Developments, terms of services agreement. Yeah, they ended some agreements. None of this matters. Okay, that's their January report. Now, if I come in here and look at, let's see, their news releases, I think January was the earliest one that they had for me. They don't even have February up here yet, even though we're almost at the end of March. So that's not fantastic. Anyways, so January is the most recent one that we have for their Bitcoin mined. Okay, so they mined 61 Bitcoin in January. So, I mean, not terrible considering how small they are of a miner. At this point, they have 1.2 exahash, which is actually less than they had in December. Okay, and that's all I really need to know. They're very, very, very small, making them very, very risky. They are down significantly year to date compared to their peers. They are trading right on support. If we come here, this is now the chart. They are right on support at 142. Any lower than this, and they're coming all the way down to $1. Any lower than $1, and we are revisiting the lowest lows at 60 cents. So we're at a critical point where I would want to see price come up and above 180 and get into this pocket on the volume profile that would take it up to a little over $2. That would be the earliest I'd be interested in that, is if it did that. Now, we want to see it get, yeah, it's underneath all of the EMAs, all of the SMAs, excuse me, all of the moving averages except 5. It's slightly above the 5-day. It's coming up on the 15. 200 is at 180, so that's going to be a big level of resistance, and then the 50 is above that at 196. So this needs to get up and above the 200-day moving average before I'd even take any interest in this whatsoever. It is in a downtrend. It didn't even get halfway to its previous high in December, so it made a high in December of $4. And in the February run-up, where everybody was, almost everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody was beating their previous December highs. This didn't even barely got a little more than halfway up to its previous high from December in February, meaning there's just not enough interest in it. Now we're going to look at the balance sheet real quick. Their balance sheet actually isn't too bad. It's not too bad. Their short-term liabilities are 30 million. Their assets are 83 million. Their long-term is only 9 million. Assets of 100 million. Like, that's great. Their what was it? Current ratio? Is that what it was? Can't remember exactly. It's like a 10. Anyways, they almost have 10 times the assets to their liabilities long term, and closer to like 3 for short term. So that's actually not bad at all. In terms of their balance sheet, and in terms of the fact that they're able to accumulate a little Bitcoin, that's also pretty good. Now let's look at their ownership. Now this is where another area where I'm going to get a bit of a red flag, and I'm going to bring up Webull for this one. So we're on Webull right here now. Let's go back here to shareholders. Okay. Institutions only hold 4.4% of this company. The corporation itself holds 4.42%, and insiders is 5.43%. Now that is a red flag. Immediately, that the corporation and insiders together, which means insiders overall, is at that 10% threshold. That makes me think I'm a little bit deterred by that specifically. Also, the lack of institutional investment giving it stability. You see, we have 85.75% is retail investors. That means that this stock is going to trade wildly, and that the institutions aren't there to give it any sort of support or bedrock for it to fall down on and rest on the shoulders of those institutions. It's all up to FOMO, FUD, sentiment, whatever's happening on the internet that day. Wall Street bets, all sorts of whatever is causing this stock to pump and dump, and it's going to be very much a volatile ride due to that massive retail investment, lack of institutional investment, and then I don't necessarily love that 10% insiders going on right there. So let's take a look at the institutions. Which institutions own this thing? All right. So the last time we got an update was January 31st. Geode Capital did nothing. Jane Street in December bought 100%. Citadel got out 100%. Morgan got in 145% more. And a lot of zeros, Tower Research, don't know who they are. Let's go. Let's keep going. A lot of people are doubling down. Like, a lot of companies are doubling down. The Vanguard. Vanguard, for some reason, went in for an extra 441% on this thing, which is interesting. I mean, only came out to 450,000 shares, and at the time might have been pretty low in terms of cost. So, no, actually, it would have been $3.30. So that was actually kind of expensive for them. They're down big on that decision. Actually, they're down 60% on the decision almost. That sucks. 100% for Bank of America, and then we come down here and it's just all minus 100, minus 100, minus 100. Two Sigmas, Barclays, out 100%, out 100%, out 100%. So many got out. And this was at the beginning of 2023, actually. So not a lot of institutional investment, not a lot of activity on the institutions. That's a little bit concerning. Let's go over to the Sage Tracker, look at their ownership real quick. All right, you got Vanguard. Vanguard and Jane Street are the two biggest. Vanguard owns 3% of this company, and Jane Street owns 0.81%. That's how little interest there is in this company. The average price for Vanguard is $2.20, so they're down nearly $1 on this. And what is their investment? $1.49 million. So it's almost nothing. It's like a sneeze for them. They're not super scared about that. So we're done with that for now. So Any is a micro cap. I think it could be easily manipulated given its tiny, tiny market cap of $25 million. It is in an aggressive downtrend beneath all of the moving averages. I do think it needs to get back above that 200-day moving average before I'd even be slightly interested. The other thing that really does not bode well is if you go to the not investors, is it investors? It just says contact investor relations. I don't have that. Let me see. Do they have news releases? Oh yeah, presentations. The last time they had a presentation was January 30th, 2023, over a year ago. They're not super active trying to give us information, trying to keep us in the loop or updated on anything that they're doing, really. I didn't really quickly and easily find any real like roadmaps for the future to give me any kind of sense of of safety in the future, and that they've got a plan like Riot. Riot's been screwing up a lot for quite a while with in terms of their efficiency, in terms of their stock price, in terms of a lot of things. Riot's not been doing very well, but they have a pretty solid plan going forward, which gives me confidence in their stock. Mara has been horribly inefficient. They don't have self-custody of their mining rigs. Their hash rate month over month is absolute trash, but they have huge institutional investment, a big um, ability to raise funds, and again, they have a solid plan that they have told us about, that they are very upfront about, and gives me confidence in that moving forward. And then CleanSpark's just knocking it all out of the park, and I just have absolute confidence in that one. Of course, this is not financial advice nor a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. But again, I'll leave you with this chart here. This is the only chart I need to know that I am not in on this one. It's a little too risky for me, a little too opaque in terms of what the future may or may not be for this ticker. This could end up being a home run for someone, but it will not be for me, and that's all I've got to say about that. Check back later or possibly tomorrow for an update on how Monday went for our favorite Bitcoin miners. And with that said, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.